Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the All Star Wrestling Review series. We move into the continuation of the series. And again, 1979 is really an interesting year because so much of the year is predicated by talent who are major forces in the 80s coming into being in the area. We'll get to them as we get to them, but it's amazing to me that a lot of people don't know the history of the favorites of 5, 6 years later, having a history all the way back into the 70s, including myself. So it's interesting to go through these sorts of forays into understanding at a deeper level the benefits thereof. Anyway, we move forward into March 17th, 1979, and this is a time right after the laying out of um, Chief Jay Strongbow by Greg Valentine. This is hosted by Vince McMahon, Bruno Sammartino, including footage of Championship Wrestling. Steve Travis being announced as the 1979 Rookie of the Year, and Vince McMahon interviewing him, featuring McMahon interviewing Greg Valentine and the Grand Wizard at ringside as well. Obviously, the Grand Wizard and Valentine interview is primarily focused on the issues there as it relates to Strongbow. We go into a match though early, and this is a Larry Zbyszko and Mr. X, which I think they probably should have called him, maybe Mr. Zebra or something. Mr. X gets beaten by Larry in 6.5 minutes with a crucifix. Larry, is a major force here. Mr. X, wearing a black and white mask and kind of the head scissors takeover, tries to cinch up on the legs, kind of the crossbow type thing. Um, and X also gets a body slam. Hard shots by Mr. X and chops into the midsection on Zbyszko. Zbyszko comes out and is not in a good space from a battle standpoint. Takes a good bit of punishment, actually takes more from Mr. X than imagined, but maybe they're trying to get the Mr. X character over. Crucifix pin and a win for Zbyszko. They go back to the highlight package, as mentioned earlier, of the benefits of Mr. Strongbow being laid out, taken out by the ambulance, really selling that as a major angle, maybe even the major angle of 1979 or one of them. I haven't gotten through the whole year, but I would suggest that it's probably a pretty big, if not the biggest thing to happen, certainly first half of the year, maybe the whole year. Anyway, move into another enhancement match here. Ivan Putski against John Schmidt. 308 Polish Hammer after about Vince McMahon interviews Putski at ringside. Putski's main concern in that post-match interview is, of course, the fate and health of Chief Jay Strongbow. He says Chief Jay will be back, but that if no one else wants to step forward, he will take Greg Valentine out. So it's probably building a house show program there. He, though, during the match sends Schmidt into the buckle quite a bit, and then again the Polish Hammer, not going to do a heck of a lot in 3 minutes, to say the very least, but we kind of go around there. And your next run of things here is a match between, as we go forward, Bulldog Brower with Captain Lou Albano defeating Dave Darrow, 521 with several knee drops, and Brower kicks Darrow off the stretcher that he was being carried out on. Brower basically made out to be the crazy heel alongside Lou Albano as the manager and mouthpiece. Tries chin locks and basic stuff, punch kick, nothing to necessarily write home about, but at the same time, basic things, top rope knee drop among other things, and we see several knees from the man, and Brower knocks the man off the stretcher, trying to get extra heat on him, maybe getting him ready for Ted DiBiase, the North American title, maybe getting him ready for the world title, not really sure. Anyway, Fred Blassie out next with his charge. His charge in this case, of course, is the benefit of Bad News Alan Cottage, otherwise known as Bad News Brown, against Tony Garea and Blassie managing him. Double disqualification, 7-12. Both men ignore the referee's instruction to stop brawling in the corner. Corner brawling is considered a disqualifiable offense here. Brown actually has hair in this run. Of course, he's coming off judo, so very basic stuff by Brown here. Tries to hook him up and tries to get a victory relatively easily, and not getting everything he wants out of it. Needless to say, Brown easily could have taken Cottage could have taken any of these individuals down in a matter of seconds. Garea and he have a competitive match, and Brown takes the majority, or Cottage takes the majority of the match. Misses a shoulder tackle in the corner and manages to get tied up there. Looks like Garea is going to get a victory, but he does not in that scenario, and ultimately, short knees and very basic things there. Not getting everything he wants by any stretch of the imagination, but managing to do what he can where he can, and eventually the double disqualification is a good enough way to end the match, kind of leaving a little bit of wonder about Bad News Alan Cottage coming back. Fred Curry and Steve Travis against Victor Rivera and Barry Mikel Cicluna 538. Travis pins Cicluna with a small package. Curry and Travis, basically a youngish babyface team, although Curry kind of old to be young in this particular environment. But they bounce around with, back and forth run there, and basic attempts, deep arm drags and basic stuff. And ultimately, eventually the babyfaces get the victory. The idea of Travis, who's a rookie, getting an endorsement from a guy like Curry is good for business. We will close on that note, and we'll be back with more right after this.